Hello everybody, this is Cholera, and I am joined with both Moletrap and Rise, one manly trio to cast Flash versus Chalrenge in set 1 of KTF versus OGN Sparky's played in the Pro League yesterday, and this is going to be really interesting. It's on Colosseum 2, and I know Chalrenge, not only does he look like Steve Busemi, there's Chalrenge, not only does he look like Steve Busemi from many hilarious movies, he is also a really kind of bizarre and strange Pro League player, even though he's kind of not been doing well this season. I think he's like 1-5 so far. But I am looking forward to this game, although I think Flash will probably end up beating Chalrenge's creative build, wherever he has in store for him.
I, for one, am not looking forward to this game, actually, because Chalrenge is one of my favorite players because of the fact that he's so creative, and he's just kind of got a lackadaisical attitude. He's very laid back. You know, you sometimes see him actually laughing during his games and things like that. Yeah. I just love him for it. But I'm not looking forward to this game because there's an extremely high likelihood that he will get slaughtered by Flash, and I don't like seeing my favorite players get slaughtered. That's why I don't even like watching Chalrenge's games most of the time, because he's really, you know, not that terribly good of a player, unfortunately, even though I love him. And by the way, he does not, in my opinion, look like Steve Bushemi, not Busemi or Busemi, Steve Bushemi. Anyway, yeah, so Flash, even though Flash hasn't been playing his top lately, he's still Flash. He's still very much favored to own the heck out of Chalrenge here, and so I wish Chalrenge the best of luck.
Yeah, I think Chalrenge has a decent chance if he does some silly cheese or something like that. He may actually be able to do some damage to Flash. Hey, we saw it from Chalrenge, which is apparently the correct way to say that kid's name, Chalrenge 2. And, you know, he could pull something off.
14 Nexus, by the way. That could help him out.
That could help him out.
Go on.
And Flash is walling in himself, so it looks like, I guess he's not going to scout him anytime soon. And Colosseum's a pretty decent-sized map, so it definitely could work out in his favor. And actually, I think it might work out in his favor. Yeah, that's about all I have to say, though.
I predict Mind Control Rush. He's going to steal an SCV from Flash and then fight him with straight Terran units. Siege tanks. It will be a late-game Terran versus Terran. Flash will not be prepared for that build.
I agree. I think that's what he's going for. You can tell because of the early Nexus. Early Nexus with the gateway and the assimilator always
straight
means
to Templar.
Rush.
You get DTs to block stuff, and then you get mind control with your DTs. You capture the SCV, you put it in a shuttle, and you're like, get to the chopper! No! Go! Get to the chopper! As the Terran units try to take out the SCV because you know it's critical. And then you go back and you create like the Terminator with it. But anyway, we're seeing Flash probably going for a fast expand here. 1 SCV on gas, pretty standard. 2 gates up for Chalrenge, and he's got a Cybernetics core down to pump out the DTs and Dark Archon soon. But of course, this map is actually pretty good for 14 Nexus. So we'll see if Flash decides to go into a relatively fast attack after fast expand, or if he allows Chalrenge to just have the economic advantage, you know, by not attacking early.
Yeah, this is working out perfect, absolutely perfect for Chalrenge, because Flash, he's gone for a later build. So if he'd gone for a 2-factory build or something like that, he would have been in trouble. And Flash is going to scout him last. He had to go all the way around this huge, ridiculously freaking large map to get over to his base. He's gonna figure it out pretty quickly once he gets this SCV in there. Which he does get past that zealot, but it's too late for him to do anything about it. Basically, he's already got his command center up. There's really nothing he can do about it. I mean, Chalrenge is going to have a couple goons popping out in just a minute, and by the time Flash could rally any significant force over to Chalrenge's base to try and take advantage of the fact that he went for that early expansion, there's just no way he'll be able to accomplish anything, especially with just 1 factory there and the command center going down. So this is actually played really into Chalrenge's hands. The way Flash plays, I would expect him to go more for try and get a better economy and just play a longer economic game. It's usually what he kind of does, and especially since he's kind of lost any kind of element of surprise. He's probably just going to play safe and go for a longer game. Scouting that robotics facility, critically, he did get that scout in there. Chalrenge was somehow randomly unable to get his 2 Dragoons to corner that 1 SCV before it got into his base again. So Flash knows what's going on. An Academy going down for Flash already pretty early, given if he was going to try for a mech build. I wonder if maybe he is going to go for some M&M rush to try and take advantage of what's going on. But I don't think a rush is going to work right now.
I think he's just getting it for scan at the moment. He's got an armory going down as well, so I don't think he's going to be going any M&M type of build. Also, he would have to build some more barracks for that to do much of anything, considering he only has 1 Marine out at the moment. And
yeah, you're right. They usually
not
build
going
more
to do too
racks.
much.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he's not going to do too much against the goons that are already out for Chalrenge. So his first expansion, his second base is now fully up and running in terms of economic production. So he's going to be able to produce a decent amount of forces, and I'm sure we'll start seeing some more gateways going down. He is going for an observatory first, it looks like, before he sends out any type of Reaver, which is kind of what I'm expecting to see from him. We could also see some sort of ferrying of troops, but I would imagine it's more likely to see a robotic support bay going down. Although, I don't actually see one. I think I see a Citadel. Does that mean he's going a DT drop? I don't know for sure, but it's a possibility at this point. It may be a little early to say that, but considering I haven't seen any Zealots out, that's kind of what I'm expecting right now.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Challenge, hadn't had his map hacks on. Obviously, he didn't see that Flash had gone Academy first. Had he gone for Reavers, Flash would be in big trouble at this point, because Flash, strangely, went for the Academy first. I guess he was sort of just wanting to get early scouting information, but there's the Academy going down. Oh, I see why. He also went Goliaths at the same time, so never mind. So that's why there was the early armory. So he was going for Academy Goliath instead of your standard turrets. Certainly an option, though, and he's already getting that +1 attack on his armory, so this is one of Flash's builds. And okay, we're going to see two base arbiters here from Chalrenge, and he's got his tech kind of hidden in the corner of his base, so maybe Flash won't be able to see it in time. We'll have to see, though. He might, optionally, he might get a couple of DTs also to make Flash waste his scans, but Flash has had those Academy, those scans up for longer than he should have at this point, so he might have enough to be able to deal with DTs and the first couple arbiters. Flash already with a starport down, he might have actually scanned that appropriate location, and then Chalrenge would be kind of in trouble. You think he did? Yeah, well then, then Chalrenge's plans are kind of foiled here, because Flash will get a science vessel out in time, and meanwhile Chalrenge has expanded again though, so he's going to try to solidify his advantage. Flash meanwhile pushing out, probably just trying to pick up his second expansion by taking a ramp here, so it's going to be a really interesting game here. We did see Best and Hero defeat Flash on the very same map several months ago in the Pro League, using the same kind of build, 2 base arbiters. So maybe we'll see that again, and it may work for Chalrenge this time.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that game with Best with the arbiters, and JB went carriers against Flash on this map though, didn't he? Or
I was thinking of Hero. Hero V beat Flash on this map also.
Oh, okay.
I casted that game. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, what I was thinking of more though is the arbiter rushes have been pretty popular lately among Protoss. We've been seeing him. Seems like every PvT I've seen lately has been the Protoss goes for some sort of quick arbiters, and so it's interesting to see that again. And yeah, I mean, Flash has gone for Goliaths very early, so I don't think arbiters are really going to be able to accomplish a terrible amount. One of the cool things about having arbiters when your Protoss is, yeah, and vessels too. I mean, he's going to be totally prepared for it, and arbiters work really well when the Terran doesn't have those units on the map to combat your arbiters. I mean, a few Goliaths and a vessel basically are going to completely nullify the arbiters and make them not really worth much, especially if they're smart enough to target the arbiters with their Goliaths, which is exactly the kind of player that Flash is. So could be bad for Challenge, but then again, we also could just see a huge macro fest, and both players just building up and huge battle in the middle with arbiters and vessels and EMPs and mines and Templar, and who knows, because nothing has happened yet.
Yeah, I think that's actually exactly what we're going to see, considering the fact that Chalrenge has 4 bases now mining, and that is definitely asking for a big macro game. Flash is at 3, so they're actually pretty well even economically. Maybe Chalrenge a little bit ahead. It looks like he may actually be putting a base up in the top left as well, or I don't know if that's just a bunch of Dragoons hanging out there, or if he's actually looking to... Oh, thank you, commentator, for going right there. No, he's just got some goons hanging out there apparently. So, but he does have 4 bases mining, and looks like a dropship is going to head all the way around the map to try to do some damage. But I think Chalrenge has 2 cannons going up at that new expansion, so that dropship probably won't do all that much. And it looks like an observer getting sniped, so Flash trying to take out any obs in his base, which is always a good thing. And High Templar are now out, so the 3 gas that Chalrenge has, and now 4 gas that he has mining, are going to play really well into his advantage right now, with Arbiters and Dragoons and High Templars, a very heavy gas build. So he may actually have a decent chance against Flash if he can keep up something like this. And he is going to take out, or maybe not, he might take out that eBay, but it looks like it's going to make it and get repaired before it can be taken out. So what do we got? 6 gateways there. I would expect to see some more coming from Chalrenge very soon. And there is a base going up there after all, so he is going to send something all the way up in the top left. And that dropship is still hanging out all the way at the top right. So Flash, I don't know if he's just... biding his time or he forgot about it, but nothing going on there right now, although he may have scanned it as well. And there are the gateways. So now we're going to see 11 gateways pumping units, and this is where we're going to see that huge macro game. And oh, Dragoons may actually snipe that dropship if they decide to move all the way in the base, but they're just out of range. They're not going to see it. No.
No.
Well.
I have a question. Have any attack units died yet? Has there been any battle? I don't think there has.
No, this is like... I think they agreed to No Rush 15.
No Rush 15?
That was the rules of this game. But, yeah, one thing that's been surprising is Chalrenge's sort of lack of macro, given his tremendous amount of expansions and mineral count, probably. But it looks like, that Arbiter actually helping the defense. Couple probes going down. That's going to hurt Chalrenge's massive economy. What I meant was Chalrenge, until he just put down all his gateways, he was running off of 3 gateways with 4 bases. That is just bizarre. You know, you're supposed to have a lot more. But I guess he's been spending a lot on tech and expansions and on upgrades. He's already at 1-1 right now. Meanwhile, Flash threading through the middle here with his vultures. Really late vulture rise, but this time he's going to catch a lot of probes. A lot of probes are going to go down this time, but Flash also scanning, preventing the Arbiters from foiling his plans here. He's going to get every probe probably in that transfer. So nice work there by Flash. He's going to put a little bit of a damper on Chalrenge's economy, but Chalrenge's economy is still strong. He had that 4th base up very early. He has a 5th base up pretty soon, and it's going to come out that he's going to be maxed pretty soon, and probably he's going to be looking for some kind of a recall or stasis attack at Flash. Flash is going to be up there, though, with his army count. He has that early +2 attack upgrade thanks to his early armory, so this is going to be a really big late-game fight here.
Wow, this is ridiculous. Finally, some battles going on at least, and Flash taking out a lot of probes there. I think that was really important because Chalrenge's macro was just barely starting to get out of hand, and so cutting down that economy a little bit will help Flash in the long run, although Flash's economy has also been known to get out of hand, so Chalrenge is going to have to do some harassment himself if he's going to be in this game, basically. He's going to need to do something because Flash right now is being on the offensive, and I guess Chalrenge, like you said, he's been spending all his money on tech and macro and upgrades and everything, so he hasn't really had... Jesus Christ, Flash is really very prepared for recalls there. He's got mines and turrets and layered tanks in his base. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so it does look like they're both players are just going to try and max out here and get going. And Chalrenge is probably just starting to get his army built up. Well, I mean, he's getting his army built up this whole time, but I mean, now he's really going to start pumping stuff out because I think he's gotten to a point where he's, like you said, he put down all those gateways. And oh, Flash is moving out here. Flash is moving out. We could see the attack coming soon.
It's all going to come down to EMP. If he can get those EMPs off on those Arbiters and incoming forces, he's pretty much going to melt anything that Chalrenge can send at him. And Chalrenge does not have that large of an army. And oh, we're going to see EMP! No!
Oh, no!
Science vessel taken
down.
No EMP at all on that Arbiter. It looks like a recall went down.
Oh, there's a recall!
And, oh, a self-storm! Oh, what the hell was that?
Wow.
He stormed his own Templar.
Come on, horrible. Templar storm! Oh.
That would be perfect.
You heard
for
the
a
Korean
stasis.
commentator say, "Storm, storm, storm, storm," and then just the same as we did, because there was that. Look at that patch. There's a
Because that was
gigantic patch of
retarded.
tanks. That Chalrenge
Yeah.
could have stormed, and this is the problem with Chalrenge. I do hope he's positioned himself in the late game versus none other than KTF Flash. I gotta speak a little quieter because situations of where I'm gassing right now, but he's got himself in a late game situation with Flash. He better prove that his macro is good. I mean, he's in a good position, but he better have gateways at every single expansion. He better have something like 20 gateways soon, ready to pump, because both of them are maxed, and he needs to stomp on Flash and then recover his unit count faster than Flash can, and that is the only way he can win now. Basically, he needs to attack, try to kill off an equal number of units or possibly superior number of units with his stasis recalls, and then rebuild. And hopefully he can do that. It looks like a big recall coming into Flash's base.
another
There could be a
recall.
gigantic storm. Oh, but no storm possible because of the EMPs. So once again, I don't know if this Chalrenge's recall is going to do much, because all of his High Templar that could have stormed those SCVs were killed. So this is the difference, I think, between Chalrenge and another top-notch Protoss player, a more top-notch Protoss player. The other player would probably have stormed those SCVs that were trying to be transferred out, but looks like oh man, Chalrenge losing so many High Templar here. I think it's just his control really isn't the greatest, and that's the problem.
Yeah, the one thing he did take care of is he did kill both the armories, and so that was a good thing to do. He took out Flash's upgrades, basically. But in the meantime, Flash pushing in with a huge force into his natural expansion here. So Chalrenge, he's trying to do some... But basically, Chalrenge's attacks are harassment here, whereas it seems like Flash's attack is more of an all-out frontal attack here. Now, Chalrenge does have gateways in a lot of places. He's not completely screwed if he loses those few gateways in the front, but he is going to be in big trouble, especially if he rallies his forces through the tanks and doesn't actually attack into them. And yeah, his attack petering out at the right here. So Chalrenge needs to do something to take care of this and save his base, or he's going to be screwed in the long run.
It's kind of funny because you said Chalrenge's attack was a harassment, and I think Flash's attack is a game ender. I mean, he's just mowing him over. He's just destroying him. And another recall going to go in, it looks like. But really, it's not that big of a force. I mean, like what, 8 goons and 4 temps? That's not going to do all that much in terms of taking out buildings, which is what he needs to do, take out production. He's going to be able to stop a bunch of forces, but at this point, Flash is about to take out 3 of his mining bases at the same time, and he's going to take out a ComSat. So, I mean, this is not exactly a good trade, and I think that
was a critical ComSat station.
Yeah, but this is and he did take out the armories, so that'll help him if he can manage to get anything else. But another expansion going to go down, and I don't think he's going to have enough to support carriers, or at least the production of carriers he would need to come back in the game.
Yeah, had he wanted to do that switch, I think he should have done it a little bit of time ago, maybe before he made those last 2 disastrous attacks. But at this point, I think it's going to be very hard for him to come back. Flash is not going to let him hold those bases easily at the upper left or around the map in general. Flash is, you see him attacking on all fronts here. Chalrenge desperately trying to rebuild, but the question of this game has been, he went for early arbiters and he didn't use them. And that was the problem. I mean, if you're going to go for early arbiters, you got to use them, and he didn't. He didn't get he got some recalls off, but he didn't have a stasis ready when that giant force pushed into his natural. I think if he just had 1 or 2 stasises, that could have been taken care of, or at least frozen long enough in his choke point that that he'd be able to just deal with them. I think he actually had the advantage briefly there when Flash was sort of vulnerable inside of his base. He actually had a lot of units free, but he didn't use his magic units. He got arbiters, but he didn't use them correctly. And if you're going to go for arbiters, man, you better use them. Chalrenge under attack here at the upper left, and it's only a matter of time, I think, before he loses, because even though he has a good amount of production, he probably even has a lot of minerals in the bank at this point, he just doesn't have a base anymore. He doesn't have tech, and you know, Flash is not going to. Flash is going to be relentless. He's very well upgraded, +2/+3. He doesn't need upgrades anymore, and this carrier switch is not going to be successful because the Goliaths are so upgraded versus basically unupgraded air for Chalrenge. It's not going to work out for him.
Yeah, this game is over. And I think it was clinched. I mean, it's been over for a little while, but it was clinched when Flash went in and took out those expansions, because Chalrenge was so busy trying to fight back. Attacks at his main, and I would call the top left his other main.
Oh, there's a stasis.
That
was
finally
really
a stasis. A little bit late, but he was so busy trying to fend off these attacks at his core that he lost the expansions on the left and right of the map, and now he I mean, that was what he had going for him. The only thing he had going for him was a ton of bases, a ton of macro, and now he doesn't have that. And so even though his door is nicely blockaded with a couple of nice little stasis fields there, it is only a matter of time. One carrier and one arbiter cannot do very much against the might of an unchecked Flash.
Double Nexus there, by the way. Did you see that? Double Nexus.
Yeah,
he's going to try to double mine those minerals. On the right.
I think the main one was taken out by tanks. And
okay,
another one behind the minerals.
Oh, I see. That's
the
funny.
other thing is, he really has used his arbiters, but they were all for crappy recalls that didn't do anything. So, although he had arbiters, he didn't use them correctly, which is what you were saying. But he did at least have them out and use them a little bit, although that doesn't do too much. And look, another recall, one carrier,
recall is
a bunch of zealots.
Carrier.
That's awesome. 2 arbiters though, so now maybe now he can do some damage here with I don't know, a recall of probes or something on his base. The only thing he's got going for him is if he can take out all the comsats and there's no more science vessels out. But I think that no matter what, Flash doesn't even need to make Goliaths. He'll just be able to take out all the buildings with tanks only, or even he could probably beat him with vultures only at this point. I think he wouldn't have much of a problem.
Now, it is interesting that. Sorry to cut in real quick. I just want to point out it is interesting that was, I think, Flash's last mining base. He may only have one other base right now, but
it is his last mining base.
It just doesn't matter at this point.
Well, Flash did make a very smart strategic decision. I think Chalrenge didn't expect that frontal attack in the front. I think he didn't expect the sheer number of units Flash was making because Flash cut his macro, basically. He said at one point, I'm happy with these 3 bases. I'm not going to expand anymore. I'm not going to need to defend it. GG coming from Chalrenge, and so he didn't need to, and he produced more units than he otherwise would have been able to in that small window of time. And I just was disappointed by Chalrenge's play here. He had a good opening build, a really solid macro build. 14 Nexus worked out perfectly for him. But if he had 2 arbiters in his base, the game could have been very different. When Flash made that big gamble of moving in, he could have gotten a couple stasis off, and the game could have turned out very different. But the way it went, though, Chalrenge just showing he was really unprepared to face the likes of Flash, who is right now the #1 ranked Pro League player in the world.
Wow, yeah, it's always disappointing. I mean, like I said at the very beginning of the game, I kind of expected Chalrenge to do something a little bit creative, and it's always kind of disappointing to see him lose. But always fun to see Flash, though, the great power that is Flash, exercising his might, pulling off things like that, just coming out with a huge force of troops and rolling over a Protoss with 6 bases.
Yeah, Chalrenge got owned. Nothing else to say. Let's move on to the next game. GG.
GG's.
GG.